Hello, and welcome back to the WooffleDee Genocide tournament. I am Fixilol, and I am here with, how do I pronounce your name? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm here with Tereg too. And we are going to be commenting WooffleDee versus mrlink2k. In the ones he doesn't, he was world record holder at some point, actually.
Slipped out of the top three.
Wait, I forgot to turn desktop audio on, my bad. Anyways, what were you saying? Sorry.
That it's pretty much neck and neck with mrlink2k, Shay, and Majoog for like the top three overall Undertale players, and those three are always kind of jockeying for position and knocking each other off the top spot. So that's quite a mountain for WooffleDee to climb.
Oh yeah.
Well, WooffleDee might be 30. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
WooffleDee might be 36 on the leaderboard with a 107 time, but in my opinion, 107's not that bad. Hell, that's better than most casual players can do. It's better than I can do. And when you have a fixed seed like this, everyone gets the same encounters. Everyone gets the same little bits of RNG, and it all comes down to execution. I think if WooffleDee doesn't get it too much in his head that he's up against mrlink2k, he has a chance here. He could pull something off.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd say around 107, 106 level. Like you need good game knowledge to get that. You can't just get it with good luck alone.
Yeah, and a couple years ago, world record was 105, so 107 is not bad. And apparently he's committed tax fraud.
Yeah, he has committed tax fraud. Arrow Ace tax fraud specifically. That's pretty based. Anyways, it seems like both runners are ready, so I'll begin the countdown for them. Oops. Okay.
And we're off.
Okay, there we go. So, both runners are beginning. And Link already pulling slightly ahead with that good mashing.
Yeah, slightly ahead, but mashing's actually harder than it looks on here, and I've been spoiled by Deltarune a little, where all you have to do is hold down a button. And from what I've heard from Shay, it's actually pretty hard on your hands mashing those keys just constantly with these tens of thousands of inputs per game.
I take pretty good care of my hands, so it never really affected me too much.
Yeah, that's true, but that's one of those little technical subtleties that really makes or breaks a run. It seems to be a matter of where your pixels are, how well you're mashing, when you know to mash and when you shouldn't, and all these little things that can save minutes in a run.
Oh yeah. There's actually some pretty complex mashing strategies. Like there's these things called face loads where if you press Shift or X on certain frames, it can speed up slightly. That's actually used during well, this is only really like relevant to neutral categories, but there's a strat called fast east-west skip where in the rooms with like the east-west vents, if you wrong warp into that room and mash really fast and really optimally, you can get a better. Oh no, Woofle whiffing the frog at there, unfortunately.
Ooh, rocket whiff, yeah, that could cost him. I mean, when you're up against someone like mrlink2k, you don't really get much room for mistakes.
Oh yeah.
All things considered, though, he's not doing too bad. He's only a second or two behind Link.
I'd say the biggest difference right now is just that rocket whiff. Like the mashing didn't seem too bad there, except for on Flowey, he kind of choked a bit. Seemed like he was only mashing with one hand there or something. Other than that,
Yeah,
not too bad.
Yeah, that could maybe cost him, but I don't know. And something that's worth keeping an eye on later in the run is during his world record run, Link actually missed EBP, and he made a comment about how he can never really consistently get it. If he If he fumbles that and WooffleDee manages it, that could make up some time.
Was that during his last World Record?
Yeah, the one that's on SRC right now. He missed DBP and had to go get it normally, and
the 49 or the 38?
The 49.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, like King at 103.38 without EBP, not neutral, EBP would be, like, crazy.
Oh, yeah, that would be superhuman. I would be like, what the hell are you even doing in this tournament? But, no, that was the one that's currently up, the 49. He probably did get it on the 38.
I would be thinking, what are you doing on this leaderboard? We need to, like, investigate you or something.
Yeah, we need a link-only category or something.
We need to, like, get on this, like you know, Dream. We need to get, like, just people investigate it.
Or like the Mecharazium thing at SGDQ.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know, people, sometimes in the OSU community, people will make, like, players do live plays if they think they're too good. Or, like, you know, they just record themselves playing with, like, they start their computer, show Task Manager and everything. We might need to make Link do that if he gets any more world records.
Yeah, but we see the face cams, we see the keyboard cams. I don't see there being much way to spoof those.
Yeah. I mean, I know Link. I've seen him improve. He's just... I don't know if it's like genetics or something. He is just so good at this game. It's crazy. Because he started after me, and I just saw him go from, like, I think I actually watched his first Undertale run live because he came from Deltarune, and he improved just so quickly, and now he's, like, unstoppable pretty much.
That might have predisposed him to be fairly good at Undertale in the first place. They're not that different as games go. And also, you have to factor in how much time he's put into it, how much time all runners put into this. I do wonder if he did something before speedrunning that might help his dexterity and reaction times, like how Shay has been a piano player most of his life, and that helps him with matching.
I'd say... Actually, he was a Geometry Dash player for, like, years, and also an Osumania player. Those two really help with that accuracy with inputs.
Yeah, and especially here where so much is frame perfect, pixel perfect, and if you mess up once, the trick is just done.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in Genocide, quads are a pretty big deal, especially in core. And also on Undyne, too. You want to hit a lot of triples with the burnt... ballet shoes, not burnt pan.
Yeah, you got a quick kill Undyne, especially when you're a top player and it becomes matters of milliseconds. I mean... number 2 and number 3 on the Genocide leaderboard right now are a matter of like 10 to 30 milliseconds.
Oh yeah, they are tied, aren't they? For the second? I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, they're both 103.59, and then one is like 103.59.65, and the other is like 103.59.90 something.
Oh wow. Anyways, Link is ahead going into the second half of Ruins.
This is a pretty comfortable lead, but they've also both got pretty good early runes. I mean, they're sub 530 going into this part.
Yeah, Link got 519, which... Well, he's plus 25 in his world record right now. 519 isn't too bad. I'd say it's pretty good.
Yeah. This is turning into a pretty comfortable lead. If you're WooffleDee right now and you know you're racing against Mr. Link, what are you thinking? What are you hoping for going your way to pull ahead, to catch up?
And personally, if I was someone who was racing against someone like above my skill level, I'd probably just focus on just you know, playing well, putting on a good show.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think his best shot is not to think about the fact that this is a race and not to think about who his opponent is. He just needs to worry about executing as well as possible and minimizing mistakes, because at this level of race, it's kind of a matter of who messes up first.
In my experience, I know that if you, like, sweat super hard and just focus on just, you know, getting ahead of the other player, you'll fumble, you'll make mistakes, and you'll, like, feel really bad.
I've seen a lot of runs on record pace where the runner got so tense and nervous that they end up dropping the ball and they lose the whole run.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. Like, I'm a world record contender in neutral. I've had so many occasions where I make it really far, and I just get so nervous, I just, like, fumble the ball. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is nerve-wracking. Especially once it's about to happen and you're so close and you know that you have to play perfectly from this point on. That's just so much pressure.
I fumbled the ball on that title there. We're good now.
Single mold small, that could be a problem. Or maybe not, because they're both getting the same encounters.
I think Link will be continuing on after this, so we're looking at maybe a 10-1x ruins, which isn't too bad.
No, that's pretty good. I mean, I think the top guys shoot for a 9-ish minute ruins, but for a race where nobody's coming in expecting world record pace, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say to get world
I mean,
record
let me
now,
be
you
real.
definitely need a sub 10 ruins.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like they'll reset if they have a bad first half of ruins.
Yeah, if you're not like leaving the first half at like under 5 minutes, then I don't know.
That is so stressful. I mean, you have to get everything perfect, or you might as well just reset. Like, no wonder people get so stressed out.
I mean, from my experience, it's more boring than anything. Just waiting for that chance, the opportunity to get past ruins.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see where that gets tedious. I actually think maybe I wouldn't have the patience to do this myself. Too many resets, and I'd just be like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not having enough fun. Pardon my French.
I think this year I ran neutral for around 6 months straight, and for a while I was pretty okay with the resets. Like I would just grind them out, and then then at some point it's like it became really hard to just start the game. So like
Yeah.
it can like burn out people. Just all the luck like right at the beginning. It's very front loaded in terms of luck.
It literally becomes your job after a certain point, and you know, if you turn your hobby into your job, something's gonna give eventually.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Link's already at tutorial fight. We'll see if something happens for WooffleDee to gain some ground.
I will say the resets get easier to handle if you just have a good mental going into it. Like I wouldn't say it's agony. You just need to like think about it properly. Oh, Wiffle fumbling the choicer there a couple times.
Yeah, I had just been thinking about how people may have lost runs to just selecting the wrong option there because you were mashing as fast as you can go and not really reading it. So I'm sure people just screw up the run to, oh, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing once.
That's not really a thing. Well, it is on there are two Papyrus choicers in Neutral and Snowden. There's one in the color puzzle, and there's also one in fighting them for a fifth time. Because you select the right choicer for both of those. And if you
Oh, yeah.
select the left choicer, then you either end up losing like 20 seconds or a minute. So, yeah. It's pretty rough. I lost a
Well,
race once to Sparing Papyrus. Anyway, sorry, what?
I was just noting that they are both looking to have a 10-minute ruins. That's not bad.
Yeah, Link left tutorial at 10:18. And
Yeah, and
Wiffle's about to leave
just
tutorial.
done. I know that it is kind of a meta thing to mess with the player a little, but this becomes agonizing in a speedrun just how long the bosses take to die.
Oh, yeah. I think the hardest part about Geno is actually the part after Sands, where you have to spend just 6 minutes waiting.
Waiting and mashing.
Because if you're on a PB pace, at that point, it's just like, come on, let me finish! I just want to post this on Twitter.
Yeah, but the good thing about that is then the hard part is done, and you can't really possibly screw it up if you're already on good pace coming out of Sands, unless like your keyboard dies or something. But I can definitely see where the impatience sets in, especially because you can't really do anything about it. You feel helpless.
I remember Shay was going for the world record sweep on the leaderboards, and the last category he had was Genocide, and his best possible time was 1 second ahead of record going into that last part. And he just he hit like 17 text boxes per second. He was mashing so hard his hands actually hurt. But yeah, that very rarely happens. Okay,
All right. What? Go ahead.
here we go into the snowing encounters. How do we keep, like, we start talking at the same time? How does this keep happening?
We're just on the same wavelength, I guess.
Or we're connected somehow.
All right, Mr. Link's about a room or two ahead of him right now, which is obviously a pretty comfortable pace to be setting. I don't think Woofle's doing too bad, though. I think he does have a chance to catch up if Mr. Link makes any mistakes.
For Wolfle's level, I'd say that it is run is a pretty comfortable pace. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, their difference right now is about like 30, 35-ish seconds, and that's something that could be changed by just like a couple quads in core. So it's very much far from over.
Yeah, and that's interesting that Link runs into the swords. Is that faster? I would have thought just not moving would be. I guess it makes sense.
It might end the turn sooner, so it might be faster. I'm not sure though. Oh yeah, Link does use a stick here, which is faster because it skips the attack animation.
This here is why I can't play Genocide. Like, I'm okay watching it, but like hearing the yelps of pain and stuff as a dog owner, it kills me.
I said this last race, but I think the attack that Dogamy gives you when you kill Doggeressa is the saddest thing in the entire game.
Yeah, that poor puppy.
He like you just see he tries to attack you, but he just all the fights gone from him. He says nothing.
Yeah, he can't even damage you. Runners just go right onto his sprite, and nothing happens.
Yeah, it's sad.
Do you think either of them are going for Dojai skip, or are we just gonna go ahead as normal?
I don't see why you would, because it would take more time than it's worth, I think.
Especially if you're... Oh.
Especially if you get the encounter, if you get the encounter after Dog Eye, then that is, like, pretty slow. So you might as well not even go for it.
Yeah. And if you're already comfortably ahead, you don't want to lose precious seconds setting up something that might not even work.
Yeah, that too. Like, it would be a time save still, obviously, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, sometimes time saving for the sake of time saving isn't really the way to go, especially in a competitive setting or a marathon setting.
Okay, Link getting heart attack.
Isn't that like their... No, they have the axe attack too.
Okay, average RNG again. Heart attack loses a second over axe attack. And it's a 50-50 chance for each.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was just about to say something incredibly silly. I had forgotten about the axe attack, so I was going to say, isn't that their only attack? No.
Okay, if you watched only my streams, then you would indeed forget axe attack is a thing, but anyways. Yeah, I swear, sometimes with Snow and RNG, it's either like, you get the fast attacks every time, or you get the slow attacks every time. There's no in-between. Like, I remember for a month, I just wouldn't get dog skip on any run. It was crazy.
Yeah, sometimes the RNG just says no. You don't get to play.
Yeah, there are some days where it just really doesn't like you. And there are some days where it really does like you.
It's like it's fighting back. It knows you're committing genocide, and it's trying to stop you.
Not only are you committing genocide, but you're committing genocide through speedrunning. That's like double wrong in the video game's eyes.
The real final boss is Undertale itself.
True.
Surprised Mr. Link doesn't break out the stick here. Does it not make a difference with Greater Dog?
It wouldn't save time, I'm pretty sure. It saves time on Lesser Dog because it sets its defense to like really low, so you can just one-shot it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously it makes any dog enemy instantly sparable, but you don't want to do that here.
Yeah, if you spare a dog, then you have to reset. Because Genocide's over.
Imagine if you... I know you couldn't accidentally spare an enemy here, but imagine if you somehow did, especially when you're well ahead in a race.
Later on, later on, I think in Waterfall, like, a lot of the random encounters are sparable. If you do, though, there's, like, nothing that happens. But, yeah, you would have to go out of your way to spare the actual scripted ones.
Yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about, the ones with the redemption flags. Link here at Bridge Grind, and WooffleDee is starting to close in a little.
Oh, wait, no, you know what I just remembered? I did do that. I spared Doggo on... I wasn't a good ruins, but I spared Doggo in a Genocide run, because I still had that, like, neutral brain rot. Because I ran it for so long.
Oops.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you flee from Shyren, then Geno is over. And that's something you can definitely do, considering it's the only category where you don't flee from Shyren.
Yeah, after a certain point, muscle memory just takes over, and you have to consciously think about what route you're on, but obviously that's a bad idea, because you're going to throw yourself off as soon as you start thinking about what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Last race, we actually saw someone go for the switch in Dog Eye Room. And they turned around just in time, where they almost got Dog Eye Skip, which would have been really funny. They were like a couple pixels off, I think.
So I've got a question. They switch screens into Snowden itself, and then they turn right around. Is that because monsters won't spawn when Sans is there?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's to reset the step counter. I'm pretty sure... Or no, I'm pretty sure you don't get random encounters here if Sans is here.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. You know, the game wouldn't expect you to get in a fight right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, as funny as it is to imagine you get encounter right... just right in front of Sans. I don't think that happens.
Like how you can kill that first Frogget right in front of Toriel and she just doesn't say anything.
Like, I'm pretty sure she does that for breakfast, so, like... She's used to it. Toriel commits murder. The new headcanon.
I mean, she's eating somehow.
Yeah, I mean... Well, she kills snails, we know that much. I don't know where she gets snails from, but she is a snail murderer. So I don't think frogs are too, like... that's not, like, beneath her.
Maybe the spiders? They're pretty okay with being eaten.
No, they want to be eaten. They're weird. That's a good question. Do they count as monsters?
I mean, I think so. They seem to be intelligent.
I mean, yeah, we do, like, pit them in races against each other.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but honestly, I would think they might as well be. But I don't know. I mean, Toriel probably wouldn't kill and eat an actual sentient monster, so maybe they're just animals.
I mean, who knows? Like, what if she does? Guess we'll just never know.
That sounds more like Undertale, to be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
WooffleDee's over on this end of the bridge as he grinds for encounters. Is there an advantage to that, or is he just trying to catch up?
That saves time, because on that side of the bridge, when you're resetting the room... Okay, on this side, there's a trigger to change the music, which slows the transition down a little bit. But on that side, there's no trigger to change the music.
Wow, the little subtleties of speedrunning.
So yeah, at a certain point, because the step count is so long, it's faster to walk all the way over there. And reset the room a couple times over there. And
Plus, you know, you're still making those steps.
Yeah.
Mr. Link stuck having to kill Jerry. I wonder if that's going to cost him.
Okay, Link's now moving on.
Yeah, he might be fine then, because WooffleDee's not done yet.
I think an optimal Snowden has you kill Jerry. I'm not sure, though. Not really sure what good Snowden RNG looks like.
I think the optimal path is they don't want to kill Jerry. They want to have enough encounters that they can spare him and skip him, because he takes so long to kill.
Hey, it does take ages. You know, I know what it is with creators and making characters named Jerry just insufferable. Insufferable, rather.
Who else is there? This is the only one of those I know of.
I mean, there's Rick and Morty.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that. I had game brain because we're doing this.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly,
Mr. Link,
I never thought Jerry Smith was that bad personally, but that's just me.
nah, the problem is he's a character that exists to get crapped on.
Yeah. Like in any other show, he would be like, he would be all right. He would just be like goofy dad. But the thing is, he exists with Rick, so that just makes everything way worse for him. So-called free thinkers when snowing in RNG.
All right, let's see if Mr. Link's gonna pull this skip off. Probably, but anything can happen in a tournament.
They have around 30 seconds of difference, and this trick saves 30 seconds. Okay, Link's keeping that 30 seconds of difference.
I love that if you do that skip, the Undyne music keeps going.
Yeah, actually, you hear a part of the music that you never hear in vanilla when you do this trick. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, because it's such a short track in vanilla, but it's a really good song. Oh, Link actually killing Aaron here. I thought they usually skip him.
Well, it's a strat to either kill or flee. I think fleeing is faster, but it's also riskier because you can end up losing a lot of time if you get lucky.
You can fail to flee if I recall correctly.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just I can't remember exactly how it works. I think if you get a double later on, then it ends up being worth it. Yeah,
and we'll do the same skip. Let's find out.
Fleeing saves time with perfect RNG later on. But you know, perfect RNG is rare, obviously. Oh no! Woofle missing it.
He did not get the skip. That is going to cost him big.
Yeah, if you have an armor equipped, then fleas are a 50-50 chance. If you have the bandage equipped, then it's a 100% chance.
Alright, Mr. Link is out of Spears 1. That is a comfortable difference in time right there.
Yeah, it could still be changed by stuff like Undyne and quads, but Link has hit 52 quads in a row, I believe. Maybe even more. So
he could have a really bad core. That's possible. But of course, if his core sucks, then WooffleDee's is probably going to too. So is it really much of a comfort?
Yeah, it really comes down to execution. Woofle's apparently gonna get sand skip. That'll be interesting to see.
What, like skipping the Sands fight?
I guess, I don't know. Watch what I'm telling you to wash your hands. I suggest doing that.
Yep. Once this match is done, make sure everybody in the Twitch chat takes a break to get some water, wash their hands, stretch. Self-care is important, guys. This just goes to show how precise and technical these speedruns are, because look how far WooffleDee is behind after missing one skip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and the spears!
Keep in mind that only half that time difference is because of that trick, too. Like, everything else is just execution.
Yeah, it's like a matter of a few quads, the right amount of mashing, good timing. I would actually say speedrunning this game is much more interesting than playing it casually, because when you play it casually, it's kind of done very quickly and you can blow through it. But there is so much technique, so much game knowledge, so many little tricks in speedrunning that extend the game's lifetime by ages.
I might be biased here since I'm one of the top runners of this game, but I honestly think Neutral is one of the most interesting speedruns out there. I mean, so is Geno, don't get me wrong. Geno is, like, very interesting, but like the glitches in this game are so technical, and there's just so many of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Punch Card Exploit, that turns it into an entirely different game.
Like, in terms of just, like, you know, raw technicality, I'd say there are games like this. But in terms of endurance required, you know, doing all these things for an hour or more straight, like, you can't really think of many games that are like that. You need to
Yeah,
stay
and not
focused for
just
so long.
yeah, and there's both physical and mental strain involved. I'm not much of a speedrunner yet, but I have dabbled in the fighting game community, and a good competitive match there is so mentally taxing that when I finish the set, I am exhausted. I have to imagine that's similar to what a top runner is feeling like after finishing a run.
Yeah, like, if I finish a run, if I finish one run of this game, then, like, I pretty much have to end stream there. Or just take a really long break because I'm so tired.
Yeah, I have to respect the runners who can finish one up or end a run because it didn't go well, and they just go right back into the next one. That takes some diligence.
Okay, Link going into the second spear section.
Yeah. Now, these patterns can really screw you over. They can box you in and cost you a decent amount of time. Let's see what he gets.
Going past the 52 bridge. Pretty fitting because Link has like 5 or 6 52s now, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh no!
Oh, and the spears get him.
Just
Let's
barely
see if
getting
he
hit
can.
by that one. The thing
All
about
right.
this section is that if you mess up your movement or you get hit at all, then the patterns just become way worse immediately.
Yeah, especially because I imagine mentally you're scrambling to make up for that one time you got hit, and you're not looking as carefully. You're not thinking about your movement as much.
Yeah, it's that, and also just the fact that, you know, you do the same movement so many times, you just get used to where the patterns are and how to, like, manip them. And if
Yeah,
it's
but
different, then it's just like, oh no, what do I do?
I wonder if anyone's ever messed up their run by turning around too early here on spears too.
I've done that many times. That's because I'm trying to do it super optimally. It's not really like messing up a run though, it only loses a few seconds, but it's quite annoying.
Yeah, but when you're this high level of speedrunner, a few seconds is priceless.
Yeah, it can build up too, you know, because you lose 2 seconds and like that tilt, you know, starts to come on, and then that 2 seconds just builds up more and more, just starts snowballing.
Yeah, at the very least, it can mean the difference between a PB and a run-of-the-mill run. All right, Link coming up on Glad Dummy here. He's going to miss MDS. Haha.
Okay, let's see if we see another Glad Dummy whiff. Which I've never seen before, and I still don't know how it happens.
All right, he avoids the whiff. That's got to be like some crazy confluence of RNG and timing and stuff. Actually, whiffing dummy. I mean,
You need to mash really, really fast.
yeah, that could be something where you mess yourself up and your run by going too fast as opposed to too slow, which goes into how technical this game is.
Oh yeah, there are many opportunities where going too fast can mess up your run. Like Temmie there, I've seen people lose a
And
turn
it's
on Temmie by going too
counterintuitive, too.
fast again.
Yeah, I was just saying it's counterintuitive too because you think speed running, I have to do everything fast, 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 fast. But no, sometimes you need to slow down a little.
If you're a really top runner of this game, like I've seen Shay and there's another runner, Samuel JH. They haven't ran in a while, but Samuel JH especially would outmash the game because this game runs at 30 FPS, 30 frames per second, and a text box takes 2 frames to clear, right? So you can mash at maximum 15 frames per sec, 15 text boxes per second. Sorry, but if you're fast enough, you can actually overmash that, and like some programs will report you can mash it like 17 like text boxes per second, but that's actually suboptimal because the game can't pick up inputs that fast, so you start missing text boxes.
Yeah, I imagine, the game probably lags a little and doesn't know what to do with those inputs that are getting lost.
Yeah, it just eats them.
And I imagine that can trip a guy up too. He'll be like, "What the heck? Why are these text boxes not going?" And that can throw you off the groove you need to be in for your run.
Yeah, with the text boxes per second counter that a lot of people use, it was thought for a while that having it set at 60 frames per second was more like precise for some reason. So people would look at the program and see like, oh, you're mashing at like 17 text boxes per second, and then they look at the game and it's like, why is it so slow? It's because you're going too fast.
A lot of Washua errands in this seed.
Washer errands aren't too bad. Oh, Link fleeing Aaron there.
That's probably for the best. He's pretty far into Waterfall by now.
Yeah, he already has his kill counter. It's like filled, so now he's going up to Undyne.
Is that the last place you can get encounters? Like, if you accidentally go into this room before you're done, is that the run, or can you recover?
If you walk, if you're not 18 kills, but you're on the Genocide route still, and you walk up to Undyne, then I think a voice just comes out of nowhere and is like, "You can't do this. Go kill more monsters." I know that
Nice.
because I've gone in runs before, and ever since then I've always made sure to double check that I actually have enough.
Yeah, I like how salty the narrator gets sometimes. Like, if you forget about Snowdrake, he somehow doesn't die. It's the comedian got away. Failure.
Oh, yeah.
The narrator just fucking hates Snowdrake.
Yeah, Undertale really nails that unreliable narrator thing. Especially in Genocide. Like, in other routes, it's usually pretty serious. Sometimes it's kind of jokey, but in Genocide, you know, the further you go, the more unhinged it gets.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in Waterfall where it does start to be the normal game for a while, it feels like it's its last gasp at convincing you not to do this. Does that make sense?
Yeah. In Ruins, it's pretty much normal, because, you know, at that point, it's still deciding which route you're on. In Snowden, it's, like, a little bit weird. But most of the monsters are still the same. There isn't really much different dialogue, except for the Sans Papyrus cutscenes. In Waterfall, even the monsters start to talk differently or look differently, and then in Hotland, it's just not even the same game anymore. You're on a completely different route now.
Yeah, Undying the Undying, who Mr. Link has just started fighting, is really your last chance. If you want to get off the Genocide train, you get off before you see this lady.
Well, you can abort in core, but even then, Hotland will still be very different.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you don't get enough monsters, or if you whiff on Metaton Neo, that's it. That's Genocide done.
You can also spare Metaton Neo, I think.
Yeah, probably. And Undertale. Underdyne, yes, let's just say that. Underdyne Neo. Undying the Undying is one of those things where I really, really respect how technical this game's speedrunning is. Look at this trick Link is doing, where he found a pixel he can just stay on, and the spears won't touch him. If you're playing casually, Undying the Undying can handle your own teeth, but the top runners make her look so easy.
I think this is one of the fights actually more fun when you know how to do it. Because
Oh,
I
yeah,
can do Undyne pretty consistently, but I think it's
Yeah,
still a lot of fun to do.
Before you learn the fight, it's just overwhelming. She's just coming at you from every direction. She's doing so much damage. You can't tell what's going on. I have never actually beaten Undying the Undying. That's my Undertale confession. I have not beaten her. So
I haven't casually. I've never finished a Genocide run casually. My first finished Genocide run was a speed run. I think it was like a minute 10.
how have you beaten Undying in a speedrun but never done it casually? How does that work?
Well, it's because I think I was fighting Undyne casually. I think it was November 2018 when I already finished all 11 neutral routes, 11-ish, and I decided, hey, why not try a Genocide run? That seems cool and spooky. And I got up to Undyne, I got so frustrated at her attacks, I just gave up and didn't play the game for like 2 months. And 2 months later, I was reminded of it when I saw a speedrun of it. And it was a neutral speedrun, and I was like, hey, this looks cool. But anyways, it was like a year later, and I think a Genocide tournament got announced around like fall 2019, and I was like,
And
hey, I
bye
want to
bye
join this.
Undyne.
Oh yeah, Link getting quick kill. Sorry for talking
Yeah,
over
I
that.
don't think he missed a single triple. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, Link is insane at crits. But yeah, that's actually a funny fact. I beat Sans before I beat Undyne because I saw there was a Genocide tournament, and I was like, wow, I really want to join. So I like quickly learned Sans, learned Undyne, and learned the route, and started doing runs. But yeah, I've never beaten Genocide casually. I still haven't.
Yeah, I got frustrated with it and a little bored, and I think I just ended up looking it up on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny because Flowey has that bit in his speech at New Home where he calls out the people who are watching on streams.
Oh yeah. I mean,
All right, we're coming.
with how meta
Go
this
ahead.
game is, I'm surprised there hasn't been like a speedrunner joke.
There kind of was in the anniversary stream of Chapter 1. I don't think Toby was really familiar with speedrunning when he was making Undertale. I know that early in the game's life, he was kind of against speedrunning and he wanted the game to be experienced his way, but he mellowed out a lot.
I feel like that was more worry about spoilers than anything. That's what I think
It
personally.
might have been. This is pretty third-hand info. Oh, is Link going to pull off EBP? Let's find out. He's slowing down. Oh, I
Link
think he
leaving the
got it.
noodles. Getting slow.
Well, yeah, that's a little slow. I mean, do you really need it if you're a top runner? If he really needs a heal, there's always a save point.
I mean, you know, he's so good at he's so good at Undertale. Why doesn't he just kill Night Knight with the ballet shoes? You know, just manifest the the fourth crit.
Did he even stop to equip the pen? I don't think he did.
There's actually a few places coming up where it's faster to equip Burn Pan, like during the East-West cycle, because you have to wait for the arrow to point up, so you equip it there to not lose any time.
Makes sense. If you can menu fast enough, it's like no time loss at all. He's going to need an absolutely terrible core if WooffleDee's going to catch up, though. This is a really comfortable lead now.
Yeah. Oh, not equipping it there. Oh wait, no. Cause it's actually optimal for the first few core encounters to have the ballet shoes equipped. I actually forgot that.
Why is that?
Because the ballet shoes have a faster attack animation than the burn pan. It's not like negligible either. It's actually like, I think you save like over a second.
Wow. Why not just stick with the ballet shoes then? Why bother with the pan at all?
Because with one turning in Astigmatism with the ballet shoes is really hard, and one turning in Night Knight and Magic is impossible. You need the burnt pan.
Oh, wow.
Like even a quad on the burnt pan is just barely enough. Yeah, you also equip it for Sans too, because the shorter attack animation means you can get through the turns faster.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what you do with Sans, you're going to dodge every attack until the last one. So you can really just go with whatever has the fastest animation.
Yeah, you just spam fight. Don't spam spare. I made that mistake when I was trying to beat him.
I don't think his dialogue advances until you attack. I think it waits for you to attack.
Yeah, if you do any action except for fighting, then the fight doesn't advance. It just gives you more turns.
All right, can WooffleDee do EBP? He does it.
Getting slow. Not getting the overflow round warp though. I think that's part of slow, but still like, you know, getting the like walking during the trick, that's optimal. I don't know why people didn't think about that until recently, honestly, but I can't really say much because I also didn't think about it.
It might be something that just slipped past people's notice. I mean, it feels like they're constantly discovering new things about this game, especially the Underminers, and people might not have thought to try it.
Yeah, there's lots of things in this game that, you know, you find something new and it's like, wow, it saves so much time, but it's also like, wow, how has nobody thought about this before?
There's just so much in it that it's a matter of whether it even occurs to somebody. And I honestly think that some of the top people, like Ocean Bagel, the Underminers community, Shay, kind of know more about this game than Toby Fox does.
I mean, yeah, when you're developing a game, you know, you try to patch everything you know of, There are a lot of bugs we exploit that Toby, if he knew about it, he would have patched it, but he just didn't know about.
Yeah, I wonder how much stuff in Deltarune he found but left in on purpose because of speedrunners.
But yeah, I've developed a few things, so I know from experience that when you're typing the code yourself, you kind of get tunnel vision of what you're doing specifically, where you can't really see the big picture and see big like exploits and stuff. But
That's why everyone has somebody look over their work before it goes out, because when you're that close to what you're doing, you can't really see beyond it and you can't take in the big picture.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
Mr. Link doesn't have the quick kill. He does do frog skip though.
oh yeah. Link whiffing
At
on a
this
final
point, that is
frog, that's
probably
unfortunate.
not going to matter. Like, at this point, that probably doesn't matter. He is way ahead of WooffleDee, but too many of those, and he's not going to be coming out of this looking good.
Okay, quadding both Whimsin and Astigmatism. I forgot their names.
At least you didn't call Undyne Underdyne.
Wait, yeah, you know what that reminded me of, actually? It reminded me of this alternate universe I saw called Undyne Tale, where everyone was Undyne.
That sounds amazing. I'm going to have to look that up when we're done.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been, like, a game or anything, but, like, everyone just talked like Undyne. It was awesome. Link is just not missing quads right now.
Yeah, he is really on his A game.
6 quad streak right now.
I know it's not possible, like, even the task only has like a 102 or something, but if it were possible to get sub-hour Genocide, I would put money on Link being the one to do it.
The task is a 57.
Oh, wow. I was completely off. I think I was going off everyone's best possible time, reading 102 at the start of a run.
Yeah, I don't think sub-hour is happening by a human. We need to find a lot of things.
Yeah, it's not possible. You just need to be too perfect. But it was more an appreciation of what Mr. Link brings to the table, where I say, like, he's so good that if anyone could do it, I would say it would be him.
Has he still not missed a quad? There's like an 8 quad streak, I think. Ooh, getting a triple.
Yeah. And
Still just not missing.
That was some tight dodging, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's not as easy as it looks. There's so much stuff in that box that it just kind of overloads you and something is going to catch you.
Those numbers are for the fixed seed RNG mod. You don't need to pay attention to them.
I assume that was someone in the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Hi, Twitch chat.
Okay, I've lost track of these quads. I think it's like... I think it's a 15th quad in a row now.
Yeah, I think so. He has not missed a single one yet.
What is this?
All that practice going to good use.
Wait, so you see what I mean? Like, this is the guy who has a 50+ quad streak in practice. Like, he just doesn't miss. I don't understand it.
All right, they both got a nice quad there.
Okay, Link already moving over. This seems like a good core to me.
Yeah, this looks like it's a really good core.
Oh my... Are we gonna see a task core here? I don't think Link's missed a... Like, right now. Ah.
There's one. He missed that one.
Ending the quad streak. Anyways, this isn't a task core, unfortunately, because Link did whiff that final frogget with the belly shoes, but other than that, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is incredibly good. I mean, this is the kind of thing where you are spending all day just playing Undertale.
Yeah, I've seen this guy. He practices quads for... He's done a lot of practice in his time.
Yeah, that's why they say when you're getting into speedrunning, pick a game that you will never get sick of, because you are going to be spending all your time playing it.
Oh, Woofle whiffing the Astigmatism.
Yeah, he's far enough behind that that might not matter too much, but it is a pretty painful whiff, especially if you're on good pace.
Okay, it seems
It's
like
neither
Link is doing a majority of his grinding here, which is interesting. I don't think I've seen that strat before.
Is this a good place to grind, or would you recommend somewhere else?
I mean, usually people do most of their grinding on the bridge, and they only move up here when they have, like, 2 or 3 left before Warrior's Path. Anyways, I think Link's going up to Warrior's Path now.
Yeah, I think he's ready to go up. Yep, here he goes.
Okay, let's see, is he gonna get his 1 whiff core?
I love Frog Skip, just the way the bullet kind of freaks out.
Ooh, going magic first. That's actually optimal for this attack.
Yeah, and wouldn't you? Magic's annoying as hell.
Oh no, whiffing the Night Knight. Yeah, that's a little fun fact. The Night Knight's attack is slower, is faster than the Magic's attack.
Yeah, the cross attack kind of very slowly hunts you, whereas Knight's attacks just go very quick. So I can see where you'd want to kill Magic first. Oh wow, he actually took a hit.
Ooh, almost whiffing. Okay, that was a very impressive core. Only 2 whiffs, and I think he only missed like 2 or 3 quads. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he went through almost the entire thing without damage too, which doesn't really matter in Genocide because barely anything's a threat to you, but it is kind of cool because I mean, imagine how hard no hitting this whole game is, and a top runner going through while barely taking any damage.
I've seen people lose runs to dying in core before.
Yeah, and just last race we had someone die to Sans. Now
Oh
that
yeah.
was a technical failure, but it can happen.
Yeah, I don't know how to count that as like a player error. That was just keyboard funny.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was
Oh yeah.
the keyboard's fault, but it is worth keeping in mind that that can happen.
Okay, Link is now leaving core. Time for their classic check during the elevator if they're in sync still, and they are, so we're good.
It's neither here nor there really, but we can't hear the game audio. So this whole thing is just happening in awkward silence for me, and it does add to the atmosphere a bit.
Oh yeah, stream can hear game audio, but I assume you're not watching the stream unless you want to hear yourself talk, which is very confusing.
Yeah, I tried watching on the actual Twitch channel when I was doing a bit of commentary earlier, but it was tripping me up too badly because I was lagging way behind the actual commentary, and suddenly my own voice would be playing back at me, and it was just confusing.
And you can't really watch the runner stream either because there will always be stream delay on the tournament, so you could just accidentally spoil something for everyone.
Yeah, and by the time you say something, you're like 20 seconds behind them or something, so what you're saying isn't even relevant anymore.
I love Frog and Nugif. That's the name for when you just sit in the corner there during that frog attack.
That's not called frog skip? That's what I've been calling it.
Frog skip is when you is on frog when you run into the frog to end the attack.
Oh, wow. I am very sorry about that. I'm doing a terrible job.
No, it's understandable. But yeah, on Final Frogget, you can't actually do frog skip, so instead runners just opt to just stick in the corner and watch the little frog dance, because it's funny.
Yeah. To be fair, the audience probably knew what I was talking about in context.
I mean, I knew what you were talking about. Yeah, you know, our community, we have a lot of confusing names for things, so it's understandable.
And they're both frogs, so...
Like try telling a layman what faster at 69 means.
Yeah, he'll think you're speaking Greek.
Oh yeah, I mentioned this last race, but fun fact about Flowey's text here, it's faster to random mash because this is one of the only series of text boxes in the game which you can clear by pressing Z and X on the same frame.
Oh, nice.
So it's one of the very few text boxes you can actually get 30 text boxes per second on.
I imagine with other text boxes, you have to kind of time it. You can't just hit as hard as you can.
Yeah, with most battle text boxes and all overworld text boxes, you need to skip it and close it on different frames. Like you can't do it on the same frame. So you are capped at 15 text boxes per second. Like here with Mettaton's text as an example.
This is turning into a bit of a blowout. WooffleDee only just started the Mettaton Neophyte, and Mr. Link's about to start Sans.
Oh yeah.
At this point, WooffleDee's main hope is that Mr. Link somehow screws up the Sans fight, but I doubt it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a no-hit.
Yeah, neither would I, which really shows you how good these people are at the game, because Sans' fight was infamous when Undertale was new for how hard it was and how much of a sucker punch it was. There were all of these videos of people reacting to this first attack that Link just went through effortlessly.
I remember watching Etika do it. He was blown away by just that first attack. He was just like, Toby, what are you doing?
Yeah, people just didn't know how to react to this at all, but now we see Mr. Link making it look easy.
Like, this is pretty much just if he took, like, a Kaizo, like, if you guys know what Kaizo is, it's like if he took a Kaizo fan fight and just put it in the game.
Yeah, which I think is why so many Undertale fan games have fights that are basically Sans, but worse.
Yeah, because they try to one up it by making it even harder, but there's only a certain point where it's become so hard that it's just not fun.
Yeah, also, it doesn't look good at first when you first encounter it, but this is a fair fight. You have every chance to learn these patterns and to react accordingly and to get through. It's not just screwing you over, even though it looks like that when you first see it.
Oh yeah, it's very well designed. That's the thing a lot of fan fights are missing. Like, they think it's just supposed to be unfair and frustrating, but no, there's a lot of deliberate thought put into this. It's not just hard for hard's sake.
It's also about memorization, because Sans always gives you the same attacks, at least when you're advancing the fight, story-wise. So all you have to do is learn what's coming next.
There's some variation, like here, but yeah, the gist of every attack is the same. So if you just know what to do, then you'll consistently get it. Like, see what I mean? Link is still no
popular training technique. Oh yeah, yeah. He's probably going to get through this whole thing without a single hit at this rate. A popular training thing I see too is people will actually play this fight faster. So the game's running faster and the attacks are coming faster. So when you play the actual fight in an actual speed run, it's like slow motion to you, and it's way easier.
I'm fairly sure someone's being double speed Sans.
That's something Shay does to practice. I don't know if Mr. Link does it.
Yeah, Enox has gone double speed no hit Sans.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's really impressive. That's like crazy. I don't know if that's really a training thing, more just showing off, but yeah, it does work with... Oh no!
Oh, there goes the no-hit.
Yeah, that's a thing that can happen. Some mistakes in this fight are very punishing, because you fall into the pit of bones and just tank damage.
Yeah, you have no iframe, so if you get stuck in the bones, you're kind of done if you don't reverse course fast enough.
Very nice HP right now.
Yeah, and WooffleDee is finally starting the Sans fight, so if some freak accident happens and Mr. Link drops the ball here, he's done. Now, of course, I mean, like, if he somehow dies. I don't mean, like, taking 2 damage.
I really don't like Gaster Blasters. I very much dislike when people put them in their fight.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's just, like, lazy, and okay, it's more of a skill issue than anything, but I think it's just lazy.
I think a lot of the fan games, they forget about, like, all the bones and platforming segments and such, and they reduce Sans to just Gaster Blasters. So all he does is spam them.
Oh yeah, he blasts lasers! It's so cool, guys! Look at Look at his orange and purple eye, or orange and blue eyes that appear for a frame in game. That's just his entire character, apparently. I don't know, I always find it funny when. Oh no!
Oh wow, Link, pull up, pull up.
I think he was trying to do the strat that Ocean did earlier, where you go into the bones there, but I'm guessing he messed it up or forgot how to do it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty new release. That was being talked about today, like a few hours ago.
Yeah, it was reportedly found in 2020, but as I said earlier, if you find a strat and tell nobody, you can find a strat.
Yeah, and like nobody has done that in a run before. But it didn't turn out too bad. He is through the fight now. All he really has to do is not accidentally wake Sans up.
If you wanted to do some, like, BM, then, you know, he could wake up Sans for a minute, but I think that would just be mean.
Yeah, that's just showing off, and Mr. Link doesn't strike me as that much of a showboater.
He is very optimal with everything. Like, he rarely messes around.
I mean, you kind of have to be, especially in a competitive setting. These are very efficient people.
Oh yeah, that's how he raised to the top so fast. He just doesn't do swag struts.
Yeah, it makes sense. Everything he does is safe and optimal and efficient. And even WooffleDee, even though he's way behind in this race, he is much better at this game than your random casual player. If he raced me, he would destroy me.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of these runners that, you know, when you compare them to the top, you know, you don't seem that good, but when you compare them to the average casual player, they're still way better.
That's something you see in every competitive aspect, every sport, everything like this. The people you're seeing on the TV are the best at the game in the world. And even the guys who don't look good when you're watching an actual pro game, they will destroy you if you play against them.
Yeah, like watching Woofle play Sans right now, this is not something your average YouTube commenter could do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure your average YouTube commenter could beat Sans, period.
Let alone get up to Sans this fast either.
And that's what I was talking about, where these high level runners, they make Undyne and Sans look easy.
The real battle finally begins.
The good news here is it takes Sans a while to fall asleep, so if something goes right enough for WooffleDee, he might close the gap here, at least a little.
Yeah, as I said earlier, this is my least favorite part of Genocide, just this waiting until the run ends. Like, if I had it my way, then I would just kill him now, and then just, you know, that's it.
Yeah, casually, and when you're just taking in the story, it's very, very clever, and I like it.
When you see it... Sorry, keep talking.
As a speed game, it really makes you impatient and like get on with it already. Especially because when you're a speedrunner, you've already memorized all this stuff. You already know what the game's gonna do. So there's nothing to really see.
Yeah. Okay, Link killing Sans. That's a lot of nines.
Ah, the infamous does Sans bleed? That could be ketchup.
Fun fact, even though this game depicts blood in it, the thing in this game that gave it a T rating on Xbox was not this, but it was the gambling. Because there's a slot machine in Papyrus's kitchen, I think. In the Xbox
Yeah,
version.
I remember hearing this.
I love the little console exclusive things this game's had, like, you know, on Xbox there was a slot machine, on PlayStation there was a dog shrine, on Switch there's a whole fight that uses, like, the Joy-Cons. It's really cool.
Yeah, Toby really likes doing that kind of thing in his ports. I'm kind of surprised there's nothing like that in the Deltarune ports yet. But, you know, give him some time to actually finish it, and I'm sure he'll come up with some.
And I'm sure there'll be some sort of, you know, maybe like a mini game or a fight or something. Maybe if you're on the Switch version, it shows a video of someone doing Switch overflows in Undertale. Who knows?
All right, WooffleDee almost done with Sans, while Mr. Link just killed Asgore.
Wow, Link with the Tazgore. That's crazy. Apparently Deltarune got an M rating in Australia because the word piss is in it. I
Yeah, I was
forgot about
about to
that.
say that earlier, and that's the country where they greet you with the C word as a casual way to say hello. So
Oh yeah.
I think
I mean, it's
they're,
not
one last thing.
Susie talking about thrashing asses. That's not the bad part. No, it's the word piss.
Flower could have avoided all this by just not showing up here. He could have just like hid in a corner or something, and we would have missed him.
I feel like Flowey should know at this point. Like it's known in the lore that Flowey knows about resets and everything.
Yeah, and has actually tried to do genocide runs before, but he can't get past Sands.
So yeah, I don't know why Flowey's so nervous here. I would just kind of be like, I don't know.
Yeah, and well, he can't reset anymore because you have more determination than he does. So there is that.
Oh yeah.
But it's especially funny because if you were to stop your run here, like let's say Mr. Link exits out of the game and starts again, Flowey yells at you for screwing up the run.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he still does the whole "why did you screw it up" speech.
You were so close. No,
Yeah,
dude.
after you murder him.
Anyways, Link is looking at a low 104 here, which is very impressive.
Yeah, that is very, very impressive. At their level, 104 and low 105 is basically expected. And, even then they'll consider that a good run, but not an amazing one. I'm almost surprised he didn't get a 103 here.
I think Shay mentioned this on Twitter earlier, but I find it crazy that when I first came into this community, the world record was a mid 105. And
Yeah, and only 3 people have 103s, and Mr. Link is the only one to do it twice.
yeah, since then we've only found 30 seconds of like huge time save. Anyways, Link getting a 104.14.
Yep. All right, and let's see what WooffleDee can do because he's probably going to get a 105 or maybe a low 106, but that's a PB still.
Link playing Good Night on stream. Anyways, I'm gonna go to Wolfle's audio now since Link is over. VLC not letting me unmute. There we go.
I know I said this earlier during Toriel's fight, but the way they make the bosses take so long to die, it's really great meta-wise and a casual playthrough, but because it kind of rubs in what you're doing. But it must be so agonizing when you are speedrunning and when you're on a good time and you're just like, hurry up, please.
Yeah, you're just sitting there waiting, mashing, like, just go.
I have seen so many runs that if these cutscenes were shorter, would probably be record or at least a PB. But you lose them to the fact that Sans and Toriel and Muffet and Papyrus take like a minute solid to die.
I don't know if I would really count it at that point, because, that's the same sort of nothingness that just everyone has to go through. So it's not really like
Oh,
you lose a world record to it.
yeah. I mean, it's still IGT, so.
Anyways, someone used the command and reminded me to talk about this. If you want to support this tournament and more tournaments like this, make sure to subscribe to Willie J. Donate bits, just donate money, just whatever. Yeah, to support the Undertale's tournament scene, more tournaments like this. We'd really appreciate it here. Also,
Yeah,
feel free to drop a follow. That's free too. Anyways, sorry for interrupting you again.
I wasn't going to say anything too important. I was just briefly checking the Twitch chat and catching up with what you were saying. So don't worry too much about it. But obviously, subscribing makes these tournaments easier to run. Donating makes it easier. If you have Amazon Prime, you can get a free subscription.
Wiffle committing tax fraud mid-run.
Yeah, and that's going to cost him. Now he's looking at a 107. Shouldn't have made that tax fraud.
Yeah, you lose a lot of time to the IRS agents knocking on your door,
Yeah, I mean, Sans is one thing, but the IRS? No, thank you.
You're not getting past those guys. You know, I saw in Strat's talk yesterday there was a new overseas bank account Strat.
Yeah, you gotta go to Switzerland and do some IRS skip.
Woofle better call Saul.
Did you know you have rights?
The Constitution says you do.
I wonder if Kara's faster talking in Japanese is worth all the other time losses in that run.
Oh, it's worth a lot. World record on Geno is about a minute faster, I think.
Oh, wow.
Anyways,
And he finishes with a 108.05.
I want to check the difference now since you mentioned it. I don't actually remember what Genocide world record is on JP. But yeah, that'll be it for the race. GG to both runners. Yes, world record on JP is about a minute faster.
Oh, wow. I had heard that people prefer to run in English, and I guess I kind of assumed it was faster.
I prefer to run it because it's easier to run, and since you know the boards are split, you might as well run on the main one. Anyways,
Yeah, go ahead.
very good gameplay from both runners. Link with a low 104, Woofle with a low 108. I think that's actually not too far off from his PB. So yeah, very good race from both runners.
Yeah, that is something that really could have gone either way if a few small things had been different. I think they both showed what they can do here and should be proud of what they did.
Okay, we have Link here for an interview. Woofle will join in a bit. Hello, Link.
Oh, yo, what up?
Congratulations on the race, Mr. Link.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, GG on the run. Very nice, very nice video you put on at the end.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, we have Woofle here too now.
Hello, Waffle. GG.
Thank you. Here, just do that, and then okay.
Yeah, very good performance from both of you.
I'm a little mad that I missed
Waffle,
SGS.
GG. Yeah, missing SGS looked like it really cost you, but I do think you did well. I mean, that we were
Yeah.
saying that
Other than the Frogget whiff and SGS, I handled everything else pretty well.
Oh yeah, that Frogget whiff was rough. I mean, Link did also whiff a Frogget later on, so.
Oh my, dude, I'm so cheesed off, man.
Oh.
I had 2 whiffs in core. One of them wasn't even a Night-Night Magic.
yeah, that was almost a task core. That was pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, you were on task core pace, like.
Oh wow.
I was in the middle of saying you were on task core pace, well, like going up to Warrior's Path, and then I remembered the Frogget. But still, very impressive. That what was that quad streak? That must have been like 17.
I wasn't counting, but
I was trying to count, but I was also talking at the same time, and it was hard.
that was a good seed though. Besides Snowden, Snowden was trash.
Yeah. I will say, in that second F of Ruins, I saw that single mold, and I audibly said, "I hate this seed."
Single mold, ruin of runs.
But then there was the Frogget Whimsin afterwards, so it was all good.
Oh, I thought for sure there was gonna be another single mold.
I was expecting it. I was
I
expecting
was like tensing up. I was ready for it.
it.
That waterfall didn't look too bad.
Yeah. Didn't get the optimal Temi, but it was good.
Honestly, for me, any waterfall looks good after what I got in the run I did earlier today.
To me, every waterfall looks good as long as you don't get a Temi at 16.
Yeah, for me, so my random encounter in the big room was single Aaron, and then I got 4 single Temis.
Oh god. That is rough.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, anything else you guys would like to say?
No.
Not really.
Okay, we're gonna end the race off there. Stay tuned. There is another race happening around 45 minutes from now, and that will be Silver versus Green Ender. That should be
That's gonna
interesting.
be a good one. And same commentary team. So if you liked what you heard this time, stay tuned.
Yeah, we're gonna try to talk over each other less. Hopefully.